What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle.
I'm Grant.
And this is the RRP Garage YouTube channel. We're just gonna hop on here real quick and answer some questions about the channel, who I am, who Grant is, and what our ideas are.
First things first, we're gonna start it off with Kyle telling us how he got into this, a little bit about himself. Go ahead, Kyle.
So, long story short, that's what everyone starts a long story with, but we'll try to keep it as simple here as possible.
Right.
So we're in Valley Park here, and I've grown up probably about a mile from here. My parents had a business that I grew up working, and it kind of evolved from working the family business to, I don't know what, selling dirt bikes. Well, actually it started off with bicycles, dirt bikes, and then once they sold the business, and I was in probably high school-ish.
Yeah, just into high school, I'd say.
I don't think I bought my first vehicle flip until I was like 2020 actually. So it was mainly like dirt bikes and just kind of odds and ends, parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little bicycle shop in the back of the store for a little while.
That's what we
called it, at least.
I think we had what, like 5 back there?
Yeah, just taking them apart, taking the chains off, cleaning them, putting them back on.
And this was a working business at this point. Looking back on it, it was like, I think they were parked in the restaurant area, so probably not the best idea at the time. But I was probably, I don't know, you're a couple years younger than me, but like I was probably before I could drive, so.
Yeah, you're probably 13, 14 years old, I'd say, right around there.
Yeah, so this is an area right here by the river, and grew up riding bikes, actually just right up behind the camera over here. There's some trails, so a lot of good stories there riding the bikes, and I mean, man, it just progressed from there, like I said, from there to the motorcycles to the cars, and then me going to South Tech. And then obviously getting stuff like this. This is the Ute here behind us, but obviously it didn't all happen at once. It was just kind of progression, buying and selling, and like, I don't know how to sell stuff really. Right. So vehicle wise, as far as like buy something, enjoy it and keep it, but I have had my fair share through the years, so I don't know what else. And then now we're here, and we're really just from the family business to high school, so at South Tech, and then working at Elko, and then now at a diesel truck dealership, so.
So what would you say attracted you to go down the route of South Tech to go to the automotive class?
Okay, so here's a funny story, because I just talked to somebody recently about this actually. South Tech had a small engine program, okay? That was whatever year it was, it doesn't matter. And the next year I was supposed to go to small engine. They killed small engine, and actually no, they merged it with automotive. So I was like,
okay. So it was like double the class size.
Yeah, so I think there was 3 classes total. They just merged that with the automotive, and I was like, well, automotive stuff, I really don't know if I want to do that. Kind of had like an interest as far as that stuff went, but I'm trying to think here whenever like I really dove into more car related stuff, and I'd say probably South Tech, because I really didn't have, I wouldn't say an option.
Right.
But it just kind of, the class merged, and I ended up really liking it. I've met a ton of good people through that class that I actually still talk to these days. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'd say that's probably a big change there.
That experience really impacted your outlook on the automotive industry and really pushed you towards this channel creation, and that was kind of like the roots of that channel creation.
Right, and I'd say that honestly, like I enjoyed tinkering on stuff, and I went to South Tech and I really figured out like, okay, I enjoy doing this stuff, but I don't want to do this full time. So hell, even now I'm trying to figure out like what exactly my future plans are. I love the automotive industry, but it's more or less I don't want to like be a mechanic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me next what RRP Garage is exactly?
So I'm still trying to figure that out myself as far as what exactly I know it's my personal brand. Funny enough, I think it was once I got this car, I was like, okay, I need to start kind of documenting some of the stuff that I do, because I get to go on trips, meet a ton of good people, obviously buy cool cars, get to enjoy cool stuff. But in short, it's Reynolds Racing Performance Garage. It was just something that I threw together for an Instagram name, Instagram handle. And it's just stuck since then, and I'm going to use pretty much the RRP stuff. I don't know about the garage part, but just like as a personal brand, as far as like whatever business venture I get into the future, just kind of have that as like an umbrella, I guess.
So since the creation of RRP Garage, you went on various trips and met a good number of people. One of them being Travis Bell. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you met Travis, how he got you set up with your first Ute here, and a little bit about that.
So long story short, I have always been into the Australian cars. In high school, I wanted a G8, but obviously could not afford one. Once my parents sold the store in 17, I think I had my license by that point. Any break that I had from school, I would work. I did landscaping during the winter time. And then I think I went on to work at the dealership like less than 6 months after they sold the store. Yeah. Because I didn't know anything else other than pretty much working and that sort of thing. So tried to save some money up. Obviously high school broke, couldn't afford it. And then my mom bought her red car. And that was more or less like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I knew that it was like a super cool car, and it was the last year of the SS. So 6-speed manual, red. Actually it was, I think September she bought it of 2017. So like the last that you could pretty much buy those. Yeah. And since she got that one, I obviously was like, okay, I don't want a G8 anymore, I'm gonna get an SS. Right. Same thing, couldn't afford it. And we actually bought my green car. It's a 2017 Chevy SS. Same thing as her car, pretty much actually flipped options, but both manual cars. Hers has a sunroof, mine doesn't. And obviously the colors. Mine has a little work done to it, hers is all stock. So a little bit past that, I couldn't afford the SS. And then, with the help of my parents, we bought that. And then working more, making more money, doing more buying and selling. I actually bought the G8 after meeting Travis. I don't want to skip past that part, but he was in the same community as these Holden cars are. Yeah. So just seeing him in the group and was like, okay, he has a Ute, I want a Ute, and he's probably a good option to run my ideas by and figure out how to get one of these things, because at the time, like, I did not think that was achievable in like any way, shape, or form. But his wife's car got wrecked. There was a set of seats in southern Missouri. I drove 2.5 hours one way to pick the seats up. So my parents thought I was crazy, driving 8 hours, like round trip total from here to Cape to back, and then back to Effingham, Illinois the next day and home. So, and then spending my own money I didn't really even have at the time to meet this guy, just for obviously a way to get one of these cars. So crazy thinking back on, but since then I just was like, cool with him and talking stuff, and he actually added me to a group chat of a whole bunch of guys I did not know. I think there's 10 or 12 of us in there. Yeah. It's funny, the nickname's Little Boys Club, a rocket there in the background. But meeting these guys, and then Holden Cookout one year, and then just getting closer and closer and closer as the years went on. So each Holden Cookout I'd be like, hey man, like, I'm ready to get one of these. And I actually, skipping a part here, I bought the G8 2 weeks after meeting him, because I was gonna cut the car up and do the left-hand drive conversion, all that stuff.
So the G8 came before the Ute?
G8 came before the Ute. So G8 was in 2020 or 2021, one of the two. And this, actually it would have been 2020. This car came in 21. So I bought the G8, had plans to cut it up and make one of these out of it, because if you don't know, that's what they do. They take the front half of a G8 and the rear half of a Ute, piece them together, and that's pretty much how you make a left-hand drive Ute. So this one's still right-hand drive. I think it was the Cookout in 2021. I said, hey, what do I have to do to get one of these? Because like, I don't want to cut this car up, and the G8 was in the process of getting built at that time. And he said, hey, I actually passed on this one here, because I already have a black Ute. What do I need two for? Right. So we went and looked at it the next day, and actually my mom wrote the check for it, because I don't have the money on the spot there on a Sunday. So she writes a check, hands it to the guy, and really the rest is history. So
now that we've established what RRP Garage is and how these cars came about, tell me about some of the cool trips you've been on with the cars.
So man, it's honestly pretty crazy thinking about here, because I forget a lot of the stuff like that. Not even this car or one of my other cars has brought, but just mainly the cars and my passion for them in general. No matter this, my SS, my Jeeps, anything like that. I've met like some of the best people and some of my best friends just through stupid car stuff. So this car in particular has been to Rocky Mountain Race Week, which is a drag and drive event. I didn't race the car, we did the just drive portion of it, but it went 1,500 to 2,000 miles in a week. So this car has been to the top of Pikes Peak, many different tracks, and
Pikes Peak's kind of dangerous to drive along with, especially with the right-hand drive car.
Yeah, it messed me up with the right-hand drive, but it's been to Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, and then back to Kansas for that trip. Pikes Peak was probably the coolest, and then Bandimere, which is now closed as a racetrack, which was like awesome too.
Yeah.
And it's also been on Sick Week 2022 or 2023. Both these trips I did with my mom, and the Sick Week one was in Florida, so it just pretty much, Florida and Georgia, so it went through Orlando, Bradenton, Daytona Beach, and then up to southern Georgia, which was the same thing, another 1,500 mile or 2,000 mile trip. Seeing some of the coolest stuff, like these are trips that take you off the road to where you don't ever see, like, I wouldn't say don't ever see, but like stuff off the beaten path where you wouldn't normally like take by the GPS. So a lot of cool local spots that, you know, like I enjoy seeing that stuff. And then actually this fall, we're taking this on 666, which is another Sick the Mag event, and we're driving on Route 66. So that's honestly one of my bucket list goals. And with this car, is like just gonna be awesome. So really looking forward to that.
So we've covered who Kyle is, how RRP Garage came to be, and what it's about. Tell me a little bit about what's to come.
So that's a big thing, honestly, with this, like pushing to make these videos, because if you weren't here to record the video and edit it and all that stuff, I would not be doing this, honestly, because like I go places, I forget to record, I get caught up in the moment, which is totally fine.
It's easy to do that because you don't want to lose interest in the things happening around you. You want to live in the moment, but at the same time,
right,
having that creative standpoint is a good let out.
Yeah, so obviously doing more of this stuff is like a big goal, because I know a ton of people, like, you know, I've been on the VinWiki channel, thanks to my buddy Travis, but I know a lot of like YouTubers and just creative people that go out and record videos, and that's something that I really want to be able to do, as far as showing people that I'm just a regular guy, and a lot of this stuff is way more possible than like, you know, you think in the moment, because I didn't even think a lot of this stuff was possible. Right. You know, even as simple as like just meeting some of these people, like, I mean, man, I could name a million different people that I met that I have, you know, I wouldn't have ever thought that I get to meet. Right. So a big motivator to me is just being able to do this stuff, and then hopefully do more of this video recording, and then, you know, say take you along, but really just motivate people and inspire people and get to share some of the stuff that I get to do, because I forget how special some of the stuff is. Right. At times, you know, like we hold a big cookout. Well, it's not called that anymore, but the big Holden meet at Travis's house. We gave a car away last year. We donated money to this family. Like a lot of stuff that goes that I forget to share just because they get caught up in the moment, right, which, like I said, is totally fine. But I just want to be able to record some of this stuff, put some of this stuff out here, because I have a lot of stuff like goal-wise and in the works, and you know, some stuff that's coming. So right, some super cool, I'll say vehicle, at least one, actually two I haven't shared yet. Two. So I'm just trying to get better about that, mainly just sharing the day-to-day, because I think there is a lot to come with a lot of the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes, that I even forget that I'm doing. But a little bit past that, I want to be my own boss one day as far as owning a business. That's always been the goal growing up. And I mean, you grew up in pretty much the store too. Grant lived like, what, 4 or 5 blocks away? Yeah, 5 blocks. For the longest time. So like, we grew up in the store. Obviously, I'm more of like on the business side. You were just kind of there and stuff like that, which is great memories. Right. Love my current job, love my previous job. I mean, like, I have no hard feelings about any of the jobs I've had. I just know that I want to do my own thing as far as owning my own business, being my own boss. I have no clue what that's gonna, you know, really do or what it's gonna turn into, but this is the start. So, I mean, I've been doing this off for a long time, taking the time to just sit down and really just explain who I am, what my goals are and that sort of thing. So I really appreciate you helping me do this. Of course. So I'm really looking forward to seeing not only what I can do, but Grant's a part of this too, because like I said, if I don't know anything about recording, or even as far as like the right settings on a camera. So I want to give a big shout out to Grant here as far as helping me throughout this, because he is a part of it too. There are a ton of other people that are attached to the RRP Garage stuff, you know, friends, family, even people I don't know that you know, like my stuff on Instagram, Facebook. Like, I'm just looking forward to seeing where we can take this, because right now there's a lot of stuff in the works, as I mentioned, and I'm just blessed to be able to do the stuff that I do, and now is the time to share with all you guys. So, sounds good. We'll catch you in the next video.